In the headlines, Kaduna State Government confirms fatalities from train attack, evacuation of passengers concluded. PDP presidential aspirants meet Governor ORTOM in Benue State. Stakeholders call for better collaboration to address human trafficking and illegal migration. Ceasefire talks likely to yield results. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Bala. Hello and welcome. Now, the Kaduna State Government has confirmed that some of the passengers on board the Kaduna-bound train attacked Monday night were killed. The government, however, did not reveal the numbers killed or injured. A statement signed by the State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arwan, said the evacuation of the trapped passengers has been concluded, but search and rescue operations continue. According to the statement, passengers who sustained injuries and other fatalities have been moved to hospitals. The state government says it is working with the Nigerian Railway Corporation to ascertain the passengers' manifest for efficient tracking. Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir Arufai, has also directed the State Ministry of Health to be in contact with the hospitals as the government will bear the cost of treatment of the victims. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has suspended operations along the ABUJA-KADUNA route following that attack. Following this, now Daily Trust Kaduna Bureau Chief Lami Sadiq reports that so far 6 people have been confirmed killed from the attack, with others abducted. I'm going to bring you that subsequently. Now, meanwhile, a brother of one of the victims of the Kaduna-bound train attacked by bandits, Mohammed, shares his ordeal to Trust TV on the incident.
Yesterday night we called his number, but it was not going. Then he has 2 lines. Then we called the first one. The first one is not going, while the second one is going, but he's ringing. So he's a close aide, a friend to him that they entered the train together. So he was able to pick the phone. So we asked him about our brother. He said, okay, he don't know where he is, but he left his phone here. Since that time, we have never ever reached him again. So we have been calling the line since yesterday, but nothing has been responded to him. I hear since there is no any update from the government because government have been spreading some information that we are not convinced of the information. So that is the reason why we come here, in order to know if there is any way out or any progress in regard to the incident. Because actually what the government is supposed to do is that let the government intervene. Even though we had that security personnel have intervened yesterday, so by this time around, the government should make a serious effort in order to know the casualties, the people that was being kidnapped, the people that are in the train or something of that nature. Let them come out with the list, comprehensive list, so that everybody should have a rest of mind. Because up to this moment, nothing we have had.
Deputy Governor of Zamfara State, Ibrahim Walaka, is among victims of the attack on ABUJA-KADUNA train. Walaka is said to be shot on his leg and is currently receiving medical attention at an undisclosed hospital in Kaduna. Press Secretary to the former Deputy Governor, Yusuf Idris, confirmed this to Trust TV News via telephone conversation on Tuesday. Idris said the former Deputy Governor is stable and responding to treatment at that hospital. Meanwhile, activity at Idu train station in Abuja is at its lowest following the attack on Kaduna-bound passengers train. Rescue team from the train station has been dispatched to the scene of the incident to assist victims. Chairman of the Nigerian Railway Workers, Innocent Ajiji, told Trust TV that the evacuation train deployed to the scene is also involved in another accident.
What happened yesterday, I cannot ascertain the number of casualties or number of those that were killed, because up till now we are yet to have a first-hand information of the people that are right at the spot for assessment. But for the little information that I got, I was able to be informed that quite okay, there were a lot of gunshots right inside the train, and a lot of passengers ran into the bush, and even some were allegedly being kidnapped by the kidnappers. And then at the moment, a train at around 2 a.m., Another train left Abuja to go and rescue those who were remaining there so that they can be taken back to Idu. But unfortunately, when the train got there, it was also involved in a minor accident that made it impossible for it to return the passengers to Idu. So, but however, those that are there told us that the passengers were evacuated by army, police vehicles back to Rigasa for safety. So at the moment, that is the situation on ground. But we will keep passing information to you as you demand as time goes on. Thank you.
Now let me take you back to an earlier story, the one about Daily Trust Kaduna Bureau Chief. Lami Sadiq reports that so far 6 people have been confirmed killed from the attack, with others abducted.
There are fears that about 6 people may have been killed, with 20 others sustaining gunshot wounds and dozens of others abducted in what is considered as a daring attack by bandits on the Kaduna-Abuja rail line. A Kaduna-bound train which left Idu train station in the FCT around 6 p.m. on Monday was said to have hit explosive devices before it reached its final destination at the Rigasa train station in Kaduna. Eyewitnesses had claimed that the bandits had then encircled the damaged train and opened fire on passengers. They also forced their way into some of the coaches, including a VIP coach, where they shot at passengers and abducted as many as possible into waiting vehicles. A passenger in one of the train had confirmed to our correspondent that it took 2 hours for security agents to rescue the situation. He said a combined team of security agents led by the GOC for 1 division in Kaduna had engaged the bandits, which forced them to retreat with the abducted passengers. Kaduna State government has also confirmed fatalities on Tuesday, even though it was not specific on the number of people said to have been killed in the attack. We also learned that the Inspector General of Police and the Chief of Army Staff to meet up with Governor Nasiru El-Rufai in Kaduna on Tuesday, where they are expected to visit the scene of the attack. This is the second explosive explosion on the Kaduna-Abuja rail line. It will be recalled that in October last year, similar attack was launched on the rail line, even though no fatalities was recorded at that time.
Now, away from that, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, Governor Tambuwal of Sokoto, and Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State meet the Benue State Governor Samuel ORTOM to consult with him over their presidential ambitions. The trio said they were in Makurdi as a team to hold private discussions with ORTOM in furtherance of their ambitions as well as in the interest of the country. Saraki, who addressed ORTOM on behalf of the team, said they decided to form a unity team, mainly to enable them reach a consensus among themselves in the days ahead. He stressed that they took the initiative to work as a team without anybody forcing them to do so, adding that it became necessary because
when we get to that bridge, I think it's for you to the fact that nobody forced to start talking about unity and consensus. We on our own innovation took that, and I believe that that spirit will take us through those issues of what will divide us. The country is too divided. The suffering people are going through is beyond our personal ambition. That's the whole purpose of this. As we said when we met first time in Bauchi, we did not need to tell the public we were meeting. We could have met and nobody would have known what we had discussed. We are men of honor and integrity. For us to come out to the public and tell you this is our view, it shows that we are committed to it. And what are we committed about? We are committed about PDP winning. Any of the aspirant is elegantly competent to rule this country and lead this country. But whoever that person is also needs all of us, because the challenges and things, that is what is priority. Not whether it's Aminu is the president or it's Balano or Udom or Wiki or Ayim or El or Waziri. No, it is what to make Nigeria grow better. And we believe it's PDP platform. And so don't forget it, that issue that anybody will walk and scatter. No, that's not what is before us.
This government of President Muhammad Buhari have brought this country to its knees. But I'm not surprised, because in 2014, he told Nigerians that he was going to bring Nigeria from top to bottom. But we didn't understand. And that is where we are. My worry is that we're not just going to the bottom, we're going beneath the earth. So that is why PDP is willing to rescue Nigeria and then rebuild it. Truly, look at, just here, the three gentlemen that are standing here. Yesterday, we had another gentleman from Rivers State Governor Wike who declared here in Benue State that he was going to seek for presidency. Look at these young men and compare the ancestors from APC that are seeking to be country. The young shall grow now. Let's allow this youth to grow. Truly, like I quote from my brother, the governor of Oyo State, who said that anybody who is after 70 years and is looking for presidency is an evil person who wants to ruin this country. Any person beyond 70 years should not be looking for presidency. These are people, today we're in the computer age.
And now to other news. Stakeholders have called for better collaboration between the federal government and other stakeholders to curb the menace of human trafficking and illegal migration. The stakeholders made the call at a public awareness program on prevention and action against trafficking in persons and smuggling of migrants in Nigeria in Awka, Anambra State. They said the South, especially Edo State, has been the focus over the years due to the number of trafficking offenses. But lately there has been an upsurge in the number of cases from Southeast. They noted that it is necessary to take the awareness campaign to the community level to tackle foundation of the criminal enterprise.
Currently, Nigeria unemployment rate for young people is 33.3%, one of the highest in the world. Until and unless the government, working together with other stakeholders, bring up strategies to curb this menace, it will not end.
We can't do it alone. Collaboration is key in this fight. And every member of the society is a collaborator, is a stakeholder in this fight. Because this is a fight that involves, crime against humanity, against human beings. So if you are a human being, you should see this fight as your fight.
Nobody is saying you should not travel. But what they are saying is that don't get involved in trafficking. Don't get involved in irregular migration. It can lead to the end of your life. Most of us don't know that we are being trafficked, and that is one of the reasons why we are creating this awareness.
Most at times, the criminals has their way of upgrading themselves, so they change patterns almost all the time. So that's the importance of this sensitization, so that people will hear and get the right information. That is why we use the topic of preventing human trafficking and smuggle of migrants.
Now, participants at a two-day workshop in Lagos identify lack of adequate information and awareness as factors fueling discrimination against persons suffering from tuberculosis. Non-governmental organizations called the media to sensitize the public on the need to end discrimination against the affected persons and support them to overcome the challenge.
For people who do not know, they should know today that TB is the biggest communicable disease in Nigeria in terms of persons who have lost their lives. It's the biggest killer today. And what deepens and makes this problem worse are two issues: stigma and discrimination. These are human rights issues. The gender-based approach also to TB exacerbates the situation. We're here today so that we can talk to persons who have been affected by TB in the knowledge of their rights, know what their rights are, and not just to know these rights, but also how to enforce these rights.
If we understand that TB is not a death sentence, there's less stigma. Number two, when people take TB treatment, almost immediately, very quickly, in a matter of days or weeks, they're no longer contagious. So the more that people understand about the disease, about the treatment, and about the experiences of people who have TB, the more that the average person understands those things, the less stigma, the less discrimination there will be.
There is great need for awareness, sensitization, close collaboration between all relevant stakeholders, and to mention very precisely, there's need for close engagement and collaboration between the TB affected communities, the legal service providers, the media, the celebrities, the journalists, everybody.
Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) has reported a backlog of 45 infections in 5 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, with no fatality recorded on Monday. NCDC in its Monday, March 28 update released on Tuesday noted that the newly confirmed cases have increased the country's infection toll to over 200,000, while the death toll remains at 3,142. With no backlog of discharges reported, NCDC noted that a total of over 200,000 people have been discharged nationwide, while data on its website shows that over 2,000 people are still down with the virus. You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. Protest over market relocation. Stay with us.
Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, is an infectious disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people who fall sick with COVID-19 will experience mild to moderate symptoms and recover without special treatment. However, some will become seriously ill and require medical attention. The virus can spread from an infected person's mouth or nose in small liquid particles when they cough, sneeze, speak, sing, or breathe. These particles range from larger respiratory droplets to smaller aerosols. You can be infected by breathing in the virus if you're near someone who has COVID-19 or by touching a contaminated surface and then touching your eyes, nose, or mouth. The virus spreads more easily indoors and in crowded settings. Maintain a safe distance from others at least 2 meters even if they don't appear to be sick. Wear a mask in public, especially indoors or when physical distancing is not possible. Clean your hands often. Use soap and water or an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Cover your nose and mouth with your bent elbow or a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you feel unwell. Get vaccinated. Properly fitted masks can help prevent the spread of the virus from the person wearing the mask to others. Masks alone do not protect against COVID-19 and should be combined with physical distancing and hand hygiene. Protect yourself and others around you by knowing the facts and taking appropriate precautions. Follow advice provided by your local health authority. This message is brought to you by Trust TV.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update. Our top stories. Kaduna State Government has confirmed that some of the passengers aboard the Kaduna-bound train attacked Monday night were killed. However, did not reveal the numbers killed or injured. Former President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, Governor Tambuwal of Sokoto, and Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State on Monday visited the Benue State Governor ORTOM to consult with him over their presidential ambitions. Furniture and other food items worth millions of naira were burned to ashes by fire outbreak in KATSINA metropolis late Sunday night. The fire started at a carpentry workshop and extended to a warehouse, burnt almost everything including furniture, flour, money and other valuables. The report.
The owner of the carpentry workshop, Shamsusani, from where the fire started, told Trust Television that the cause of the fire outbreak has not been ascertained, though no life was lost to the inferno. But the fire burnt almost everything in the workshop and even extended to another building where flour and other food items were stored. As at 2 p.m. this Monday, people were trooping to sympathize with the victims at the scene of the incidents. You see, we lost almost everything. We lost all our furniture, both new ones and those brought us for repairs. They have burnt to ashes. I can only give you a conservative estimate. Maybe I can only tell you that we lost at least 4 to 5 million naira in this inferno. But it was a serious incident, and we submit everything to the Almighty God. The places affected are MK Bilhaki Modern Furniture and Al Hassan Ventures Limited, Mokudawa in Katsina Metropolis. Our warehouse has been affected. Look at it. Look at our flour. We are trying to sort it out and see what we can do. We lost properties worth millions of naira here. And even the flour, look at how it was damaged. Some of it was burnt down. In fact, we made a lot of loss here. The men and officers of the Katsina State Fire Service Department, with the support of some Samaritans, assisted in putting off the fire. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Elsewhere, members of Aromoleti Osho Market Association in Apangbon are calling on the federal government to rescind their 7-day ultimatum and allow them to occupy the on-the-bridge environment. The traders in their numbers with various inscriptions on their placard said they have no place to go after the 7 days notice. The traders said markets affected by the directive include the Aromoleti Osho Market, Shoe and Bag Market, Irewolede Market, Ekwas Market and Esiajere Market. This comes a few days after the popular Apangbon Market was gutted by fire. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu told them to leave the premises as all the occupants of under-bridges in Lagos State will be forced out of the bridges and possibly relocated to a befitting environment for their trade.
And so I want to use you men, gentlemen of the press, to let's pass on this information. Government is not about making life any more difficult for its citizens. That's not the plan. But it's for the citizens to know that their commerce and their activity needs to be done in proper markets, in places that have been designated as proper markets. I will work with the special advisor CBD and the local government chairman. I will see how we bring forward representative of the traders, and we can both identify where we can reallocate or relocate them to very, very, very quickly. And these are some of the things that we're going to do to ensure that they do not miss their source of livelihood. But to go back to how it's been done is to mean that we're being reckless, because we cannot be assured of the safety of this bridge, if we have to take them back there. And so we'll go to Obalide as well, and we're also going to repeat the same thing. It's about time in which we need to get people off under the bridges. Because once it happens, once things like this happen, it affects everyone. It affects the entire economy of Lagos, and that is certainly not acceptable.
Now, the Nigerian Navy Forward Operating Base, Bonny Island, Rivers State, arrested 14 suspected oil thieves, pledging those necessary measures will be deployed to checkmate the ugly trend in the country's territorial waters. The officers of the base hands over a vessel, MT Prayer 1, seized with over 2 million liters of crude oil, with 14 crew members to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for further investigation and prosecution. The report. We're going to bring you details of that story in our subsequent bulletin. Now, on the international scene, delegations from Russia and Ukraine arrive in Istanbul for the first face-off talks in more than 2 weeks. Ukraine says its top priority from the talks, which will begin early on Tuesday, is to negotiate a ceasefire. But hopes of progress are slim, with both sides playing down the chances of a breakthrough. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pleads for world powers to toughen sanctions on Russia, including an oil embargo. And in sports, a rematch between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk will take place in Saudi Arabia in June. In September, Usyk defeated Joshua in both and took his heavyweight titles. Hopes of the former cruiserweight reclaiming his titles were almost dashed after Usyk returned to Ukraine, his country, to join the fight against Russia. Saudi Arabia put out a reported £90 million to host the rematch, with June 25th being the front-runner date. The price tag for the fight is a third more than the 60 million euros Saudi paid for Joshua's rematch with Andy Rose in 2019. Well, with sports, we've come to the end of news updates. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Bala. Thanks for your time and company.